Hi everyone, I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and if you're in the UK, I hope you're not melting, because I'll be honest, I can't fucking cope with this heat anymore, especially in front of all my DJ stuff and my computer stuff. It's kicking out some serious heat and I'm melting to the point where I actually went to Lidl and bought a little fucking ice cream because I thought, fuck the diet, I need to cool down and I need to have some tasty business going on. Today, I want to talk about my sort of beginner's experience using Serato DJ Pro and now Rekordbox and Rekordbox Pro, or whatever they call that version of it as well. In the first vlog that I did mention that Rekordbox scared the shit out of me and I just basically threw it off my computer and put it in the bin. But I've ran into a few issues with Serato DJ Pro and I want to kind of address them and sort of tells people what's good about Serato and what's good about Rekordbox, because I've now downloaded Rekordbox again. Some great features on it and it's covered what I was lacking on Serato. However, there are also a lot of things that I'm struggling to adjust to now I've got used to Serato. So basically I want to use this vlog to say what's good about both, and who knows, it might give somebody else some pointers and tips based on what they want to use if they're starting out as well. So let's get into it. Why did I start using Serato DJ? Because just more clearly laid out than Rekordbox. Everything's done in a sense where it's the colours are nice and easy to see. Everything's clearly laid out. It's easy to use and everything's set up as you go into it for like a user-friendly sort of guide. And I absolutely love that. I think it's great. The problems I ran into with Serato, and because I'm a beginner DJ, I thought this was an issue with my skill set with DJing. So I've posted a few mixes. Those mixes that I've posted are sort of the best bits, or what I consider I'm happy with as best bits for my DJ. However, there are a lot of mixes that obviously I've done in Serato which didn't pan out quite as well. What I found is Serato's AI for analysing songs and tracks is a bit shit, to be honest, because the issue I was having, and I was struggling to find answers for this, so this might be useful to some people as well. People might already know it, but you know, fuck it, is what it is. It's my experience, so fuck off. But anyway, joking. If I match two BPMs, let's say a song's 87 beats a minute, I will match that tune with another tune of 87 beats a minute, and I will match them in key, and they should work together. They should work at the same, because they're exactly the same, and as the two tracks go across, they should go across simultaneously. Now with a lot of tracks that does work and that is fantastic. However, I was finding more consistently I was getting two tracks that should work together and just weren't. Now I know through my research that there is a lot that, you know, if two tracks just don't work together or the drum tracks are too sort of complicated, they will just not work together and it'll clash and it'll sound like a bag of crap. However, what I was noticing with my listening ears is that both songs 87 beats a minute eventually will go out of time, and I was having to manually keep it in time, which you can do. However, it just becomes a bit of a ball ache, if I'm honest with you, especially when you're trying to transition and stuff and you're worried about that going out of time. I'm thinking, well, they should work, should be in time. However, coming back to what I said earlier, the AI in Serato DJ Pro doesn't seem to analyse the tracks overly well. And through my mate ChatGPT, who I've been having a chat with, he said basically the same thing. He says the AI isn't great for analysing tracks, and Rekordbox is a lot more precise at it. What I've done is re-download Rekordbox, try and be a brave boy and get over the fact that to me seems a lot more complicated of an interface. It'll be something I get used to, but obviously going in that, and especially with the heat and everything, it's not kind of what you need when you're trying to learn a new piece of software for me, because I'm a technological ape anyway, so it is more difficult just because I'm a moron, but you know, it is what it is. So downloaded Rekordbox and I have found the tracks that I previously wasn't able to put together because I thought my skill set wasn't high enough, been able to beat match seamlessly and match in phrase, and with a lot more ease than I found in Serato. So from what I found is Serato's user face is a lot clearer. However, when you're actually mixing the music in Rekordbox, you can just get it a lot cleaner and a lot better because the AI analyzes the BPMs better and keeps things in time. Don't get me wrong, I'm not using the sync button. I'm trying to do it to increase my skill set as much as I can. But what I was finding in Serato was I was having to do this thing called edit the beat grid, where you have to manually go in and line up where the tracks lines are for each of the bars. When I did that, it made things a lot better, but I don't want to be going into every track and editing the beat grid on it. It's just going to take forever. Whereas Rekordbox, I didn't need to do any of that. For the actual music side of things, I'm actually finding Rekordbox is a lot better to use. So I would probably recommend going for Rekordbox over Serato. However, that being said, Rekordbox seems a lot more complicated in the way it's set up. So me and ChatGPT have been having a little conversation again, because I basically said to ChatGPT, can you give me the settings and preferences to set up Rekordbox like the user face of Serato? And it said, yeah, I'll give you that. We'll go through everything and we'll sort it out. Now, even with the use of ChatGPT, ChatGPT doesn't always know everything correctly as it is. It's telling me there's certain knobs on the Pioneer Flex 10 controller which there isn't there, and it's like, oh yeah, sorry, I didn't realize that. I'm like, you did, you're a little knobhead. Anyway, so Rekordbox I found, so like, let's say for instance I want to match in key, I want to mix music in key. Serato, little button for the Camelot wheel which puts it into a number and a letter, so alphanumerical, and it's very easy to see what works with what key and what doesn't work. However, Rekordbox, I've found the settings to change that, to go from a normal sort of key signature into the Camelot wheel, which, you know, a lot of DJs use. It was a little bit more complicated to set up. And even when I did set it up, it would, like, half the songs would flick back to the original key format and half the songs wouldn't. It's just proven to be the technological issues I'm finding with the use of it and trying to get it set up how I want it. Now, this might be because I've already got used to Serato over Rekordbox, so I'm finding it harder to transition over. I don't see why it should be so difficult to just change how the key signature is formatted to how you can see it and the clear layout of it. It is hard to get on with, but at the same time, I think once it's that persistence to get used to it, you'll find the music will just, you'll be able to be more creative with the music and you're less likely to fuck up. Because I found, you know, I'm halfway through a mix, like when I posted the other night, and then you get to play a track and it should be in time, you play them out, and then you're there trying to mess with the effects to get a nice transition, and before you realise it, bass is all over the place, drums are all over the place, your mix sounds shit, and you're storming off because you're grumpy because you're only a beginner DJ. My experience, not for anyone else. I'm struggling with Rekordbox at the moment because I'm getting used to it, and I'm finding I've had to so I went in and I saw that there was an automatic cue point button in Rekordbox, which I thought, great, I'm not going to have to go through all of my songs again and set the hot cues, because in Serato I spent a couple of days doing it, which is another reason I was a bit sort of heartbroken when I thought, right, Serato's not working, because I've spent time setting everything up how I wanted it set up. So Rekordbox have this automated feature where I can set automatic cue points, so I don't have to worry about setting cue points in the track. So it'll set it at the drop, it'll set it 16 bars before the drop, 32 bars before the drop. One problem being is I'm quite meticulous about, I want everything to be set the same. I want one at the beginning of the track, I want one 32 bars before the drop, and I want one on the drop, so I can mix a little bit more comfortably and a little bit easier regarding being a beginner DJ. Now, what I've found is when you do set these automatic cue points, it doesn't set them all at the same time, because again, this is AI analysing the tracks. When the cue points were set, so let's say in Serato, I've set the same cue points, the red one far left is the beginning of the track, and then I set the one next to it, which was an orange one, I set that as the drop, and the one beneath it, under the red one to begin with, that was 32 bars before the drop. For me, as a beginner DJ, I'm quite happy with that, and everything's clearly laid out and I know what I'm doing. It's one less thing to think about for myself. When the AI analyzes it in Rekordbox, puts them wherever it wants, and there doesn't seem to be anywhere I can find an easy way to set the same cue points up unless I manually go in and do it again. Now, I can manually go in and do it again, which is what I'm going to have to do. However, another hurdle, I'm there asking ChatGPT, can you automatically delete all of the automatic hot cues? Because I've got about 300 songs in my drum and bass playlist and about another 300 in my liquid drum and bass playlist. Set it so it's automatic hot cued for the 300 songs in the drum and bass playlist. There isn't a button to take all of them off. So a lot of the tracks, it's set 8 cue points that aren't the same for each track. So if I set a cue point, it might match it in phrase. There's a little bit more going on for what I'm comfortable with at this stage. And annoyingly, I have to manually take off every single cue point, because even though there's a button to automatically analyze the tracks for the cue points, there isn't one to automatically take them off, which I think's a bit fucking ridiculous personally. So I've now got to go back in, delete all the manual cue points, and then set them again where I need. This might be because I'm used to Serato now, and I find with Serato, when the waveforms come up, the colours change as and where, and I can't really describe it, but I think I've just got used to knowing what colour signifies what part of what phrase, if there's a phrase change, if the drops come in, and just to know where to make it like a little bit easier for me. The colours aren't as versatile on Rekordbox, so I'm finding it's harder to see where things are coming in and where things are changing. Again, it's something I think I will get used to. I just find it a little bit more frustrating, whereas where Serato can be so clearly laid out, I don't know why Rekordbox has to be so complicated as an interface, and everything just seems to be done in a way which is complicated on purpose. DJs might have a go at me and say, no, that's not right. I'm only talking about my experience with the two interfaces. But in conclusion, I would say Serato, fantastically laid out. However, the analysation of the music isn't always correct, and I found, especially today, before I got rid of it, it was more songs than not, in the sense I was getting more wrong, whereas when I've loaded up Rekordbox and had a little play with it, I was finding it a lot easier to keep things in time and in phrase, but a lot more difficult to overview the whole software. But yeah, I'm not going to go on too much more about it, because I think I've kind of got everything I wanted to say in one, and I've probably repeated myself a few times there, but hey ho, it is what it is. I need to go get a fucking ice cream. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be just posting more thoughts and more of my experiences with everything regarding DJing, and let you guys know what I'm experiencing at that time. Like I say, my experiences might provide some help for other people. I'm going to go back to DJing after my ice cream, and I've got to set all my cue points, which will probably take me about 74 years. But hopefully when I get that done and I can actually have some fun DJing again, then I can post some more mixes, and if I get around to that tonight, I will post one tonight. But let's just not put pressure on it, because there's a lot of fucking tunes to do, and I'm still really struggling to navigate Rekordbox. I will let you guys know in the third vlog how I get on. Rekordbox is nudging it. I think it's just going to take a little bit more practice to use. Anyway, go subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye. Just eating 4 ice creams and I feel sick.